All right, so if you're familiar with my channel at all, you hear me talk about some very popular destinations in North Georgia a lot, places like Dahlonega, Georgia, Ellijay, Georgia, and Blue Ridge. But in this video, we are going to be talking about 3 hidden gems in North Georgia, some really great small towns that people aren't quite as familiar with. So without further ado, let's jump into the 3 hidden gems of North Georgia. Hey everybody, my name's Tim Gibson and my channel is all about North Georgia real estate. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, if you're thinking about reaching out, my contact info is right here on the screen. All right, first small town I wanted to talk to you about is a little place called Talking Rock, Georgia, located in Pickens County. It's actually just under 70 miles directly north of Atlanta, Georgia. The population of Talking Rock, get ready for this place is massive. You've got 94 year-round residents in Talking Rock, Georgia. And like I mentioned a second ago, it's in Pickens County, and Pickens County has about 35,000 people in the whole county. Schools in Pickens County, you're gonna end up with a B- rating, which that comes from niche.com, is a pretty good rating there. If you're to live in North Georgia, you wanna go out to eat, what are some of the restaurants that are in the area? Well, you've got one of the most popular restaurants in all of North Georgia located in Pickens County, close to Talking Rock. That's a place called Biggin's Barbecue. If I'm anywhere near Biggin's Barbecue, I'm stopping because their barbecue is awesome. They have great food. It's a fantastic place to go. You also have Talking Rock Brewery, which of course you can go grab a beer and grab something to eat there. Awesome place. All right, so grocery shopping in a place like Talking Rock, you probably guessed it, there are no grocery stores in Talking Rock. You're going to have to go to Jasper, which is not a very long drive. And Jasper has Ingles, Walmart, and Kroger. You have some places there to do your grocery shopping. And real quick, we'll want to talk about some real estate and what is the real estate market like in a place like Talking Rock. All right, so first I want to talk about some inventory. How much inventory is there in Talking Rock? Well, there's about a 3.5 month supply of inventory. What does that mean? All that means is if you got a 3.5 month supply of inventory, if every single house was to sell in Talking Rock and no new houses were to come on the market in that period of time, it would take about 3.5 months to exhaust the entire inventory. One interesting thing about inventory in Talking Rock is there's been a decrease of like 48% inventory compared to this time last year. And just for reference, I'm shooting this video in July of 2024. All right, so let's talk about list to sold price in Talking Rock. Interestingly enough, in Talking Rock, the houses are selling for about 2.1% higher than list price. So of course, if you're looking to buy a house in Talking Rock, at least in July of 2024, you could expect to maybe pay just a little bit over asking price, which is great time for sellers, maybe not so good if you're looking to buy in Talking Rock. Let's talk about median days on market in Talking Rock. That's only 10 days. That's a very short period of time for a house to be on the market and for sale. And these houses will go under contract on average, in 10 days there. This kind of supports the fact that houses are selling for 102% of list price. Low inventory, short time on market, houses are selling over list price. So that's a healthy seller's market for those of you that are looking to sell in Talking Rock. Median sold price. Where's the median sold price in Talking Rock? It's about $352,000, and that is just right there in the middle. You've got houses on either side, but 352 is right there in the middle. What I want to do real quick is just show you what you could buy for around that median sold price in Talking Rock, Georgia. All right, so here's our example. We're looking at 56 Jacobs Bend in Talking Rock, Georgia. All right, so looking at 56 Jacobs Bend, looks like a nice house here. You got a nice front yard, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, built in 2005. You got just over a half acre of property, 0.62 acres there. And you're looking at just under 1,600 square feet. This is a little more expensive than the median, but I thought this was a good example. This house is listed at $384,899. Very specific list price there. So next we're going to talk about our second hidden gem in North Georgia. It's a little town called Murrayville, Georgia. Murrayville is located about 60 miles northeast of Atlanta, and it's kind of in between Gainesville, Georgia and Dahlonega, Georgia. A small part of Murrayville is in Lumpkin County where Dahlonega is located, and the rest is in Hall County where Gainesville is located. Population of Murrayville is about 5,000 people, quite a bit larger than Talking Rock. The population of Hall County, just for reference, is about 213,000 people. School ratings, niche.com, again, gives Murrayville a B+ rating, which is good for those of you that have school-age kids. Restaurants. There's only one that I can think of. I drive past it a lot. It's called Cafe Cancun Bar and Grill. I've heard actually really good things about it. There's always cars out there. The parking lot's always packed, so I think it's a good sign. Otherwise, you'll have to go to Gainesville, Cleveland, or Dahlonega for restaurant options because Murrayville is a very small town. They do have a Dollar General, though. Grocery stores, you're noticing a trend here. You're going to have to go to the next largest town, which would be Gainesville in this case, or Dahlonega. You've got a Publix, Kroger, Walmart, everything you would need in Gainesville. And if you wanted to go to Dahlonega for grocery shopping, there is that new Publix that is opening up. I think it's around Thanksgiving of 2024 when that'll be open. Pretty close to Murrayville too. All right, so let's jump into some real estate stats about Murrayville. First, we want to talk about supply. How much supply is there in Murrayville? You got about 3 months of supply there. Just a quick trend over the past 12 months, we've seen a slight decrease of inventory in Murrayville, a decrease of about 4.5%. List to sold price ratio in Murrayville is actually over 100%, kind of similar to Talking Rock, is about 101% in Murrayville. So all that to say, if you were to buy a house in Murrayville, you might expect, at least in July 2024, to pay maybe 1% more than what the list price is. One real estate stat that is a little bit surprising is even though houses are selling for over list price, the current median days on market in Murrayville is actually 86 days, which is a really long time. So, you know, most of the houses that you see in Murrayville are on the market right around 3 months, which seems to be a little bit of an extended period of time there. And lastly, let's talk about the median sold price in Murrayville. That's about $356,000. Gives you an idea, just the average price point for the area, just like we were talking about in Talking Rock. All right, so let's give you an example of what you could buy for close to the median sold price in Murrayville. All right, so this house in Murrayville, Georgia, it's located at 12 Katydid Lane. This one's a little bit more expensive than the median sold price. This one's $369,000, but I thought this was a good example. This house looks tiny from the front picture here, but it's actually 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and it's like almost 1,800 square feet. It's a cute little completely renovated cottage here, built in 46, and you got an 1.5 acre property. So that's kind of what you could expect to see around Murrayville, Georgia for about the median sold price. So I think it's a pretty cool option there. Okay, last but not least, we are going to talk about our third hidden gem on the list of hidden gems in North Georgia. We're going to talk about a little small town called Lula, Georgia. Lula, Georgia is located about 66 miles northeast of Atlanta, Georgia. It's also northeast of Gainesville, Georgia, if you're familiar with the northeast Georgia area. Population is almost 3,000 people in Lula. Lula is located partly in Hall County, which is where Gainesville is located, and also part of it is in Banks County. All right, I know that schools are obviously important to those of you who are moving to the area with school-age kids, so the schools for Lula are actually pretty good, B+ rating from niche.com. Restaurants, does Lula have any restaurants? It actually has more than Murrayville. You got a couple of Mexican options, and these are just a few. You've got Cerritos, which is a Mexican place, Los Arcos, and then you got a good piece of place called Napoli's. Grocery stores, I think you're picking up on the theme here. You got to go to the next largest town. In this case, you'd be going to Gainesville for, you know, your Kroger, your Publix, your Walmart, all that good stuff. There's also a local grocery store in Lula called Lula Grocery. So if you don't want to drive all the way to Gainesville, maybe you do some shopping there. All right, so let's talk about real estate in Lula. We've got about 3.5 months of supply in Lula, Georgia. And over the past year, we've seen an increase of inventory. This is the first one we've seen an increase of the 3, about 12.5% year over year from 2023 to 2024. List to sold price ratios, talk about that a little bit. In Lula, it's actually 97.8%, the first of the 3 that's below 100% list to sold price. So if you are looking for a house in Lula, maybe you could expect to pay about 2% less than what the list price is. And median days on market is just 5 days in Lula, so you got to jump on a house fast if you're looking to buy something in the area. Okay, median sold price in Lula, we're talking $310,000, which is cheaper than both of the other 2 that I mentioned, Talking Rock and Murrayville. What can you get for that median sold price in Lula of about $310,000? I couldn't find anything right at that number, so I found one that's just a little bit more expensive. All right, so we're looking at 6647 Belton Bridge Road in Lula, Georgia. This one is 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, listed at $339,900. House was built in 2000, just over 1/3 of an acre of property there, and just about 1,600 square feet. So it looks like you got a nice option there. One thing I wanted to mention is in North Georgia, you know, depending on the area, but once you get below just about 350,000, like you can see with this house, some houses don't have garages, and that's usually a cost-saving move by the builders. So just keep in mind, if you're shopping for a house under 350, then you might not get a garage with that. All right, so that's it for our top 3 hidden gems in North Georgia. What did you think? Are there some hidden gems in North Georgia that you'd like me to talk about on another video? Leave your comments. I love to read the comments and reply to any ones that I can. As always, my contact info is on the screen right here. If you're thinking about moving to the area, please reach out. I'd be happy to help, and we'll see you on the next video.